Hot dog, can you stay down?
Hot dog.
Bacon and dog.
I hate when those hot dogs start riding up, dude.
I'm actually sitting on the bottom of my hot dog. That's a euphemism.
Sitting on hot dogs, I heard.
I like how we went live when I say I'm sitting on the bottom of my hot dog. What a douche. Thanks, Brooks.
All right, y'all. Welcome to another episode of Gary Williams Stole My Lawn Furniture. Are you guys ready? Yeah, I think we are.
Yeah, I'm trying to get us live on Instagram. Make sure that's working. But you can go ahead. I'll work on it while you're going.
Okay. Well, we're still trying to figure some stuff out today. We'll go over a little rundown of what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to talk some baseball at the top, like we always do. Talk some Orioles. Talk some Yankees. Unfortunately, we'll do a little bit on football, but then after that, we're going to get into our golf preview. We're going to recap Scheffler's win last week at Memorial, and then talk about the U.S. Open, who we like, maybe give out some picks, and then. At the end of the show, we're going to do another snake draft like we have been doing the last few weeks. We're going to do the best uniforms in the four major sports. This does not include college. It does include throwbacks. So It's going to be fun. Hopefully you guys watch. You stick around. We'll start off with some Orioles stuff. 43-22, still second in the AL East, 2.5 games back of the Yankees. Split 4-game set against Toronto before we swept the 4-game set against Tampa. What did you guys see from the last week of baseball? Anything you want to talk about in particular in general?
I mean, I don't want to beat a dead horse. I don't want to keep saying the same shit over and over and over again. Just looks like a great unit. That's it. I mean, very simplistic. I mean, just looks like a unit that is coming into its own. We're enjoying ourselves. I mean, heck, even Brandon Hyde's taking his hat off in the dugout, you know? Let's give a little bit of different spin on things. And I don't even know what Brandon Hyde looks like without a hat on until about 2 weeks ago. So, it's good. Corbin Burns is a stud. You know he's going to go out there and give up 2, maybe 3 runs. If he gives up 4, then I actually believe that Rapture and Armageddon is going to occur. I would say that right now we're firing on all cylinders. Does that scare me a little bit? Without a doubt. Because I don't want to peak too early. Just like I think the Yankees and my favorite manager, Aaron Boone, have peaked too early. But as I sit here and wear a hot dog with no relish, and that's my favorite condiment, I believe that the Orioles are in a good place. And I believe the Yankees are going into a dark place.
What did Aaron Boone do to you specifically?
Well, I don't really know too much about that, Dusty. I mean, I'm the one here wearing a hot dog, and Aaron Boone's not. So maybe he did nothing to me, or maybe he did so much to me that I'm wearing a hot dog. I don't know.
Fair. I'd like to know. I'd like to ask the Rays, how did that taste? First time we've ever swept them at the Trop. I mean, that was pretty fucking awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
The one thing I learned about the Rays is their leadoff guy, Diaz.
Diaz, is it? Diaz?
He is jacked. That dude is jacked. He wears a pink sleeve. I mean, that thing, his pipe, I mean, he must jerk off a ton. And when he does, the dude had 6 of the 18 hits they had, or like 6 of the 20 hits they had in the entire series. Go get that Huckleberry for our lineup. Holy hell.
Yeah, he looks like he's built in a lab. He looks like what's his name from Texas, Garcia. I mean,
and when did Rosarena go into the shitter?
Well,
he's having a bad year.
I remember, like, I didn't know until the last series against them, which was all of like maybe a week or 2 ago because we've played them pretty recently. I didn't know until that series either. I didn't know until that series either. I don't know what the hell is going on with him. Like, it's like
he's got Cedric Mullins numbers,
dude.
And I mean that in a. I'm not trying to shit on Cedric Mullins, but just giving a comparison. Said he's batting around 180, 185, 190, and I think a Rosarena who was usually like a 270, 280 guy with power. He's got like 175.
Yeah.
Dude, it's weird. Like I've never seen anybody drop off like that since like I don't know.
Tiger
Chris Davis,
Woods?
fucking Ryan Howard. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like he was in the conversation for MVP and batting title every year. It felt like, and then now he's like, I think they said he has the 10th worst. He is 10th worst in I can't. I think it's OBPS or OPS or
Okay.
it was either OPS
Yeah.
or something else. He's got whatever it was. He was like 10th worst, and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, that's not good for him. He's a guy that's normally mashing. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
I mean,
funny enough that you mentioned Adolis Garcia. Him and Randy Arozarena were both on the Cardinals, and both couldn't do anything on the Cardinals, and then they both made their way to different teams and just blew up. But yeah, Randy's been struggling this year. Cedric, I want to get back to. Brian is.
Yeah.
We haven't said much. We probably talked about Cedric a little bit on this podcast, but obviously we all love Cedric and we're rooting for him to get better. But dude, his numbers are brutal, and when he's at the plate, like it just looks like he has no confidence at all. What were you about to say, Brooks?
I was gonna say that it was promising to see this last series because he was hitting some balls hard, just not finding ground, and had a couple good hits as well. So there is some promising stuff from the Rays series, but I'm trying to pull up that Dan Clark, which I know Dan Clark's not always our favorite, but these, I mean, you can't deny the stats that he put up.
Are you talking about the splits between Chris Davis and Seti?
Yeah, I got it right here.
That
yeah,
one,
so his
there's that one, and then there's one other one that's similar that I want to pull up too. But Dustin, read that one off.
So Chris Davis's slump in 2018 and 2019, which you guys probably all remember listening to this, was 407 plate appearances of 170 average with a 564 OPS. 356 plate appearances dating back to last August for Cedric Mullins, so 50 less, but same kind of ballpark there. When we got a 166 average, which is worse, and a 512 OPS, which is significantly worse.
Yeah.
Cedric is having a really, really, really bad stretch. I know he's great defensively, but he is a complete zero at the plate right now. I really hope he can figure it out.
I want him to figure it out, not just for the Orioles' sake, but for his sake. He was a saving grace when we were still down in the dumps, when we were the armpit of the league. Cedric Mullins was a little bit of a ray of sunshine.
Oh,
and for a guy who's in a contract year now to begin to, for lack of a better term, and I hate to say shit himself. I mean, come on, man. I personally want you to get paid. I know you want to get paid. Right now, you're going into the tank, and that sucks.
Yeah, and remember, like pretty much up until August last year, he was incredible. And that even to start this year, like his average was a little down, but he hit 6 home runs like out the gate pretty quickly. And I think he's still stuck at 6 right now, I believe.
Do we think, and you guys completely tell me if I'm out of left field with this, the World Baseball Classic, when he played in it, he enjoyed the hell out of that. And I feel like he's never been the same since. Almost like the home run derby hex, where guys don't hit bombs anymore. I feel like it's been a slow deterioration since then. And maybe I'm wrong.
He started last year. Well, I shouldn't say most of last year he played really well. Really. So Dustin read off that Dan Clark stat. His other one that he put up probably before that one, going back. So this is starting August 2023. He's got in August 2023. His average was 188, 612 OPS. September and October of 2023 was 191 average, 565 OPS. March and April of 2024 is 219 average, 701 OPS. And May is 136 average, 344 OPS. And then obviously this tweet came out June 9th. His June 2024, he's got a 0 average, 125 OPS. Obviously, that was before he had a couple hits the other night, or last night.
It's ugly, man. Obviously, like Brian just said, I don't have to beat a dead horse here, but we're all rooting for Cedric Mullins. We really want him to turn it around for the sake of him, for the sake of the ball club. He's a good leader. He's great defensively. He's a great ambassador for the city, but yeah, he's really struggling. They're hoping that he finds it. Going back to that Blue Jays
could you
series,
imagine, obviously Hayes is starting to figure it out a little bit. Like, could you imagine if like these guys and Urias is looking up? I mean, had a couple dingers. He looks like he's hitting the ball square again. So that's positive. If these guys figure it out and get back into form on top of what we have already, I mean, that's scary. I mean, what the hell do you do?
Kowser's going to be sticking in the 9-hole. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you do?
Yeah.
And by the way, Kowser's very abysmal in the outfield. I know he made a nice little play yesterday against the wall. And he gave a great diving catch, or gave a great diving effort a couple days ago. But watching him run the outfield, it's like watching Chris Davis in the outfield.
I don't think it's that bad.
I don't like it.
I think he's all right. I don't like that he plays center field every now and then. I don't think his arm is accurate even a little. He struggles with the cutoff man all the time, and it drives me insane.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
But he actually has he had a little bit of a slump after his crazy hot start, but it seems like for the last month he's been hitting the ball really hard, especially in that Toronto series. I felt like he hit probably 4 balls to the warning track in that series that all got caught. So at some point those are going to start finding holes, and he's going to get his stick back, which is really the big thing we need from him.
This is where I wish we had like a Ryan Rip. Go ahead.
Cade Povich came up last week. Got a loss in his first MLB start. 5 1/3, 5 hits, 4 walks, 2 strikeouts, 6 earned. Didn't look as bad as the stat line kind of seems. Did you guys watch that game in particular and see him pitch? What did you think about that?
I didn't get a chance to watch it.
Finish your point on Ryan Ripken, if you want to do that.
No. This is where I wish I had. This is where I wish I had Ryan Ripken next to me, because he would probably have some sort of defensive statistics or metrics as to how good Colton Cowser is in the outfield. It just doesn't look fluid. Yeah. Maybe that's what I'm getting at. No, it is what I'm getting at. Screw that. He doesn't look fluid out there. It looks like it's a forced position on him. He screams a DH. He screams a corner infield position, maybe a first baseman, which we have a plethora of. So that's really where I was going with it. Like, when you look at the Cedric Mullins or you look at an Austin Hayes, it looks like a fluid motion. Even Anthony Santander. But Colton Cowser, it just looks forced. It really does. And that's all I want to say. And look, he's probably the sixth best outfielder in Major League Baseball, and I'm just an absolute ass hammer. And that's fine. It just looks forced.
No, I mean, I like I said, I'll agree with you with the arm accuracy and stuff like that. I don't think he's been that bad in the outfield. I actually think he's made an improvement since last year. And I think we talked about that at some point. But yeah, to your and Dustin's point about him missing cutoff, man, and just not throwing to the right spots every once in a while is really frustrating, because he should know this stuff.
Yeah. There were 2 or 3 relays over the course of 2 weeks where Cowser, for whatever reason, game situation got moved to center. And there was cutoffs between, and I'm going to bring Gunnar Henderson into this conversation. There were cutoffs where Cowser would throw offline to Gunnar. Gunnar would throw offline to home. And I think 2 or 3 were to home plate, and they were god awful. They looked like high school based cutoffs and relays, and they were bad. And that's a concerning thing, because you're going to need to have one of those. Look, let's call a spade a spade. There's going to be a play to play in the playoffs. We're going to need it.
Yeah,
line it up.
Yeah, this used to be something we're pretty good at, and it's something we practice quite a bit, where we in spring training at least. And I don't know. Maybe it's just been a couple situations where it's looked bad and everyone kind of has noticed. Hopefully, it's not something that's going to be a trend. But I mean, because I remember I can't remember if it was this year or last year. I think it was this year, beginning of this year. There was like a beautiful relay from the outfield to gun somebody down at the plate, and it was like, oh man, there's few things, like look nicer as a well executed relay to throw somebody out at the plate. And I think it was beginning of this year when we did that. And I know
It's sexy.
Yeah.
I mean, like this hot dog outfit.
You're getting Brian's hot dogs riding up on him a little bit.
Ooh.
In fact, I even got one more for you.
We'll get back to the relay thing another time. I think we spent enough time on it. Yeah, it's something that needs to be worked on, but it's a long season and something we can work on. Back to Povich. Did you guys watch that start? Did you see anything out of him in particular that you like? Brooks, I'll send this to you first, just because you're the resident pitcher in our group.
Yeah, this is where I'm kind of gonna let everybody down. I did not get to watch that game after I've been calling for, and I wanted to see him pitch. I need to go back and actually watch the game, but everything that I saw in terms of highlights, I mean, you can. I should have watched it before we came on and watched the replay or something like that. But I mean, having a little kid is kind of hard sometimes, guys. Sorry, but everything I saw was.
Not gonna watch every single one.
Loser.
Everything I saw was relatively positive, right? I mean, it was.
Yeah.
I feel like I can't talk as educated on this as I want to, but everything I saw on Twitter, some of the highlights, some of the stuff that people were posting, everyone said that he pitched a lot better than his stat line and the outcome. So that's promising in itself, right? I mean, but
absolutely.
I am a little disappointed I didn't get to like actually watch him pitch.
Yeah.
So I'll make sure I get on that before next time.
Yeah, Dusty, I apologize for even trying to throw it to me. I didn't get a chance to watch him at all. I was jazzed and jacked up to see him get called up and to pitch, but I just couldn't watch it. So I don't have anything on it today.
So Dustin, what do you think?
That's all right.
Yeah.
Look, I think he pitched a lot better than I think like Brooks just said. Yeah, I think he pitched a lot better than the stat line indicates. He got kind of unlucky in that last inning, giving up a few runs. After he got pulled, I believe he gave up a couple of those runs. So not even all. They all obviously go to him on the stat sheet, but not all runs that he actually gave up. 4 walks is just too many in 5 innings. So that's something you got to clean up. But it's his first start. I'm not super worried about it. We were able to stay in the game. O'Hearn hit a 3-run homer, I think, in the 9th inning of that game to bring us within 1. We didn't didn't quite make the comeback, but yeah, I think it's a good positive start, and hopefully he can clean up some of those things. The rest of the pitching staff, though, we want to talk about in this Tampa Bay Rays series, was fantastic. Irvin pitched pretty good in the first game. Burns, Bradish, and Rodriguez were just lights out this series. Bradish, after getting a couple days off last week, we thought we were a little bit worried about the arm. Doesn't look like a concern at all. He gave up 1 hit, and it was the first guy he faced. 9 strikeouts before the Orioles, and before him and the Orioles bullpen retired 26 straight hitters. In between the 2 Yandy Diaz hits, Brian's new favorite player. And then Grayson was perfect through 5 innings the other day. Ended up giving up a couple runs in that inning and getting pulled, but still a great start from him. We won the game. And then Burns, 9 consecutive quality starts.
Doing Burns stuff.
That's all you're looking for.
Yeah.
It seems like he was a little unlucky. He gave up 2 runs. Neither of them were earned last night because Westberg dropped the pop fly and the next guy came up and hit a dinger. But look, he battled through that. He still got a quit. I think it was 7 innings, 2 runs or something like that. I mean, it's automatic with him. It's great.
Was there a reasoning that Grayson went before Burns? Is that because Povich came up and there was just like the schedule kind of allowed that to occur? Am I missing something?
I don't know. I know they've been pretty adamant on not changing Burns's his days, and why would you keep him? And I've noticed they're it seems like him and McCann have developed a pretty good relationship now, so he's always catching him.
Yeah.
I think they're just, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Keep him in his routine. He seems really comfortable with McCann, so just fucking keep rolling it, man.
Brooks, I'm glad you brought that topic up because I didn't realize this until Brian Roberts, the best fake tan man in baseball.
I don't think it's fake. I think he's just fucking living in Sarasota golfing every day.
Brooks, as the resident pitcher here, is that a real thing where a catcher? Now I know knuckleballers are a different animal, so I want to put them to the side. Is that a real thing? A catcher-pitcher relationship like we're seeing with McCann and Burns? And a secondary question to go off of what I'm asking is, does this mean that we need to now keep McCann if he wants to stay, if we re-sign Burns?
I mean, to be honest with you, everything I've heard, it sounds like McCann wants to stay no matter what. Like it sounds like he'll take a discount to stay with this team, which is great to hear that our culture is like that. But yeah, it definitely is. It definitely, I like, because I've had catchers that are good talent wise, but we just, for whatever reason, you just don't vibe. It's really nice when you can kind of, what you want to throw for the next pitch. Like you kind of have like the sequence where you're at in the sequence of how you're throwing pitches. You're like, all right, as soon as that pitch was thrown, you're like, all right, I know what I'm throwing next. And like the catcher already knows that you guys are just on the same page instead of shaking off. That just gives you a whole nother comfort level. It's just something less that you have to think about. You're just like, you get back up there and you're like, yeah, fuck yeah, we're on the same page. Let's go. And honestly, like there's catchers that can make you look a lot better than you are, to be honest. I've had multiple catchers that just the way they receive balls or the way they call games, after I got roughed up trying to pitch the way I wanted to pitch and then started trusting what they're calling, you start pitching better and then you develop that trust. And you kind of know where certain pitches where you want to throw them on the plate or where you want to start them, where you like to see the glove. Do you like to see the glove where you want to throw the ball, or do you like to see the glove where the ball ends up? Right. So it's just little things like that develop the relationship. And sometimes like with certain catchers, they just never, for whatever reason, remember. Because I mean, obviously they have a ton of other pitchers to remember their stuff too. So remembering all that is tough, but I think there is something to the comfort level and the way a catcher calls a game and the way the catcher receives a ball and all of that plays a part into it. So, and it seems like him and McCann are close off the field too. So, I mean, that could be something as well.
And also, I mean, one day we do drafts all the time. We're doing a hot guy draft at some point or another. James McCann is a top 2 seed in my hot guy draft. Just gonna throw it out there. Anyone takes him, I'm coming after you through this screen because he is a good looking human being. All right.
Hey.
All right. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Dusty has no idea where to go with that.
No, I don't know how to respond to that. You're in the league you're in there with the.
Well,
I mean,
Brooks,
Brian, how are you gonna take him over Brian Roberts in his tan right now? You know.
I know. Good point.
For sure.
But Brooks, to your point, I mean, I guess if you look at it from a hitter's perspective, and Dusty, this is where you and I can come in with this. Is there were some pitchers that I saw better, you know, in at least in college when you would see them on a regular, you know, an annual basis. There were some pitchers that I would see better, and maybe that's the juxtaposition of what Brooks is talking about with the catcher and the pitcher, you know, having that kind of that feel with each other. I like that.
Yeah, and actually, just to add on that, one of my favorite catchers in college, I only got him for a year, but so he would call the game. We weren't getting a call from our coach from the sideline. It was me and him calling the game.
Mm-hmm.
He can see what's going on. Like if for whatever reason, like I punched him out on an inside fastball and he's moving off the plate for the next at bat, he can see that. That's hard to see from the dugout when you're calling a game. So he has a feel. He has a feel what's going on there, and he kind of has a feel for like, I want to say like how late they're swinging, but like if they're loading up a little earlier, if they're trying to get on time with a fastball, if they're sitting back, like you can just feel that a lot better behind the plate. And then you have that conversation when you go into the dugout. So I say all that because I had him for 1 year, and then he became a grad assistant the next year. And for example, I didn't love the catcher that came in after him that was catching me. But it ended up working out really well because that catcher was in the dugout calling the game. He knew me like the back of his hand.
Yeah.
But if I was shaking him off, which I never did, he knew there was a reason because he couldn't see, because he wasn't sitting behind the plate. And I come in the dugout and he goes, "What are you seeing there?" And I would tell him, he goes, "Oh, that makes sense. Good shake off." So there's
It's like,
yeah.
Why do you want to throw a slider there? Oh, I saw he was out on his front foot on the last pitch or something like that. You know what I mean? Like little things like that are easier to see on the field. Yeah, I mean it's amazing having all these weapons in the Orioles rotation. Also, we talked a couple weeks ago about maybe us doing a 6-man rotation. It looks like we're kind of doing that right now, because Suarez is pitching tonight, Povich is pitching tomorrow, and Irvin's pitching on Thursday. And then I would imagine that would bring straight back to Bradish, Grayson, and Burns. So I don't know if that's something we're going to continue to do, or if that's just something while Povich is up, just get him an extra start, just because we have all these games in June and we don't have any days off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good,
I mean, we'll see how that.
Yeah.
The good news on that though is I did hear on the broadcast last night that I think it was on the broadcast, Kramer's throwing another bullpen, and then they're going to determine if he's going to start his rehab starts. So that'll be another factor. And then I don't know if I brought this up last week. I know I tweeted it out and I sent it to the group chat, but and Dustin said this, like it was good to see that Bradish was looking good in that last start, because we were all kind of nervous with him waiting or having to, they're holding him out another day or two before his next start to give him more rest, and everyone started speculating. But I sent this right after he got pulled from that game. Did not love the way he was shaking his arm out and flexing his hand towards the end of that one start, and lost some velocity there. I was thinking the worst as well. But I just wanted to hit on that again. It was good to see Bradish go out there and dominate again in his velo. Everything looked fine. He wasn't walking batters, so it seems like he's dialing in his command again. So I thought, I was thinking the worst, man. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Well, I mean, and that's fair. And that you would be on this podcast, you would be the absolute person to talk about this. So I agree with you, and I'll listen to what you say.
Well, he was doing that, and then they held him out like for extra rest, and I'm like, oh fuck, man, like this. Yeah, that was
Let's go with the recent form of these guys. Let's get away from negative, because everything has been really positive. So it seems like we're trying to harp on negative. In fact, we're doing what the Twitter followers that Brooks wants to stab and makes his blood pressure boil do. So hi, the Orioles doing well. And then Dusty, go ahead and fire away with our recent form.
Yeah, so this I have just some stats over the last 15 days that I thought were interesting. I took these notes yesterday, so this doesn't include last night's game. But going into last night's game, over the last 15 days, Santander has the highest OPS on the team, 5 homers in 12 games. Mountcastle, 5 homers in 13 games, had 13 RBIs in those 13 games. Adley had that grand slam to cap off a 6 RBI day. He had 17 hits and 14 RBIs in his last 12 games. Gunnar, who's just
49
seems to do everything.
RBIs already?
Yeah. Gunnar, who just seems to do everything right. 14 hits, including 8 extra base hits, walking 11 times, and scoring 13 runs in 13 games. If he can score 162 runs, I would be over the moon. Obviously, that's a crazy number to go for. But if you're scoring 13 runs in 13 games, you're doing something right. That means you're getting on base, you're aggressive on the base pass, and your team's picking you up.
But before we get into upcoming schedule and the rundown here, I want to ask a question to the group. Gunnar and Adley are going to be all-stars. Okay, let's get that out of the way now. Gunnar should be invited to the home run derby. If Gunnar accepts the home run derby invite, does Adley accept the home run invite? It's a question to you guys. Do you think Adley would like to allow Gunnar to have the spotlight, or do you think they want to go against each other?
I think Adley should definitely do the home run derby. I think he was electric last year, and he got super unlucky getting matched up with what's his face in the first round. I can't remember even who it was. Was it Julio or Louis Bob or something like that? I would love to see Adley in it. I'd like to see both of them in it. But I don't know. I think they're both definitely going to be all stars. So
I guess my question really is, without me answering my own question, would you like to see both of them in, or just one of them?
Both. I mean, let's represent the Orioles as much as we can and get the exposure.
100%. Both of them.
Yeah, I'd love to see it.
Who else do you think on the team has a chance to make the All-Star game? We haven't talked about this at all. I think
obviously,
for sure.
Burns. I think Westberg has an outside chance of making it. I haven't seen his splits, but he's right now my favorite Oriole. So I would say those four would be your all-stars. Yeah.
I don't know if you heard this, Brian, but they said, and I forget who said it on last night's game, comparison to Westberg. They're like, he's a bigger, stronger version of Dustin Pedroia.
Pedroia.
Wow, that's a fucking great. That's a great comparison right there.
Yeah, because Dustin Pedroia, who is Jose Altuve, is Dustin Pedroia, because they both look like they swing an oar instead of an actual baseball bat. Westberg, and what Brian Roberts was saying, what my favorite, naturally tanned man from Sarasota, does. What he said is, he drives the ball to the opposite field, and I mean, while he was saying that, he then plows one into the right center field gap. Oh my! All right, I'll give you credit, man. You win here. You win. You win. You were talking about oppo power, and then bang. And
he's so impressive. He uses the whole field so well. I love watching him hit.
He stays through what we call the swing zone. He stays through the swing zone so long, and I don't know how the hell you actually teach that, but damn, if he doesn't plow that ball that is on the outer half. I mean, it almost looks like he goes up to the plate and he says to the pitcher, "I got one half of the plate, you got the other half of the plate, and you got to figure out which half of the plate I'm thinking about right now." And that can be pretty fucking intimidating.
Yeah, I mean, if I were pitching against him, like I'm banging him inside until he proves it. Like, because I don't want to go outside against him. Hell no.
I'm hitting him under the armpits. Like I'm plowing him up and in. And I'm not hitting him, but I'm pitching him up and in.
Yeah, make him turn on one, because his swing path, like you said, and like everything he does, just screams opposite field. Obviously, he can get around and pull balls, but like I would want to make him prove it. But that's he's a scary. I'm with you. He's a scary guy to go up against.
Just a hard out.
And he grinds
out every time he comes up.
Yeah. He's up.
And I also want to comment on this before we move on to the schedule. I don't know whether I enjoy Grayson Rodriguez or don't enjoy Grayson Rodriguez, because he looks like he wants to kill people, which I dig. I don't know if he wants to kill us as Oriole fans or if he wants to kill the other team.
I love it. I just hope he keeps that. Keep that mindset, because that killer instinct, that mindset, you got to think you want to go out there and mow these dudes down. You got to think you're the best pitcher, the best player on the field when you go out there. I think if you're a professional athlete, I love having that mindset.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was just at least the last couple starts, like he's gotten taken out and he just looks pissed to get taken out. And I don't know if he's pissed because he's getting taken out or if it's because of what happened before that. But I mean, either way, you gotta love the attitude that he brings on the mound. Like that's just that's what you want.
It's either a super positive or a super negative. Like if he's got that bulldog mentality, I want that. I want that out of my guy every single time. If it's also, I hate my manager taking me out because, I'm 6 innings in or 5 2/3. but I was giving up 2 runs. I don't want to go over 100 pitches. All right, let's cool the jets here for a second.
Yeah, but I do
and
love
he's
the
a young
mind.
kid. He's
Yeah.
yeah.
I do love the
That's
mindset
something
though,
you
right?
learn,
That's the bulldog mindset.
Yeah.
Like he's literally, I don't know. And if I were him, in my mind, I would be like, don't fucking take me out. Let me finish my inning that I started because there's nobody in that bullpen that's better than me that you're gonna bring in that's better than I am. So let me just fucking finish it. That would be my mindset, and maybe that's his. I would assume that's his because, to be honest with you, he is better than 99% of the guys out there, and I would rather him have the chance to finish it. But I understand matchups too, and pitch counts. So, but yeah, I mean, I love it. I do.
Yeah.
So,
I'm,
and I
I'm all
wanted
for it. I hope he keeps that fire.
I want to touch on Santander too because a month ago, his left hand side, everyone was like, I mean, he's becoming a liability, and now he's, I mean, one of the hottest hitters on the team, and
this is what he does too. He has stretches where he looks like one of the worst baseball players on the planet, and then he has stretches where he looks like you can't get him out.
And I think we said this at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, and that's just how he is, and he always starts slow, and he always picks it back up. And it just seems like hopefully he keeps this going, and he will pick it back up. Because having that kind of weapon in the middle of your lineup that can hit from both sides of the plate is just incredibly invaluable. So, yeah, I mean, as many left-handers as we have in our lineup, the fact that he can match up against those left-handed pitchers, we're going to need as many of those guys as we can.
All right, let's move on to our upcoming schedule.
I got one more thing.
Yeah, we'll go over
sure.
schedule quick.
The Gunner.
Go ahead, Brooks. But let's let Brooks finish here.
The Gunner leadoff stat. Does anybody have that?
No.
That nobody's ever
Fresh out. Sorry, it might be in my bathroom.
While you're looking for that, I'll just say upcoming schedule I just did this week. Three game sets at home versus Atlanta and Philly this week. 2 NL East teams, 2 of the best teams in baseball. Obviously, Atlanta's missing Acuna for the year, but last time they lost Acuna for the year, they won the World Series. So that's still a really good team, a really scary team. And I think Max Fried is starting against us tonight, which is not great news because he is one of the best pitchers in baseball. So
what would be a successful
Albert Suarez barn burner is what we're looking at tonight.
Oh, great! what would be a successful 6 games against these 2 teams to you guys? I'm thinking a split.
I would love a split.
I'm thinking a full split. Yeah.
I would love a split. Anything above that is great. Anything below that is whatever. These are 2 of the best teams in baseball. I wouldn't take too much from it.
Yeah.
Obviously, if we lose all 6, that's going to be a problem. But we just won 4 in a row against the Tampa Bay Rays, who are a pretty decent team. But after the series next week, we play the Yankees in New York. So it's not like it gets any easier. I believe next week we play New York and Houston. So the rest of this month is just a complete grind.
This is like the month
brutal part of our schedule. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the grind month. Normally grind months are July and August. This is our grind month.
Yeah.
Well, even then, like it would be a grind month if we faced like the worst teams in the league and had one day off. We're facing like our schedule is just so hard this month too.
Yeah. And build character for October, baby. Just build character for October. Get these young kids some at bats against really good players. Give them some opportunities to learn how to come through in those kind of situations. Around the league, the Phillies and the Mets played a series in London, a 2-game set. The announcer call on the last play, the out that Castellanos broke his bat on. I don't know if you guys saw that, but it was awesome. Bryce Harper hit a home run and did like a soccer celebration. He slid on his knees into the dugout. That was pretty cool. But yeah, it's good for the game of baseball to branch out, do this thing, same thing the NFL is doing, trying to get people around the globe excited about baseball. Don't know if it helped, don't know what the ratings are, but I watched the games and they were fun to watch. The Yankees almost got swept by the Dodgers. Judge is just on another planet. We've talked about this 2-3 weeks in a row, but this stat just blew my mind. Players with more than 30 extra base hits in a single season, 30-game span since 1901. 1928, a guy named Chick Hafey. 1937, a guy named Joe DiMaggio, who I'm sure you've heard of, and then in 2024, Aaron Judge did it. I think his OPS over that 30-game stretch was like 1,600. Anthony Santander's that's been hot the last 12 games is 1088, so he is almost twice as good as that. I mean, it's just outrageous. He's just killing everything. I hate it. They're winning every game, it seems like. But their manager is Aaron Boone. So, yeah. Did you guys watch any of the London series? Did you watch any of the Yankees this weekend? Anything to say about that?
Yeah, I watched the Yankees a bunch. They look like a great squad. How shitty of the fans for the Trent Grisham stuff. I understand that Juan Soto's that good, but that was pretty shitty. The Yankees are the real deal. You know, I've been dogging them because of Aaron Boone, but they're the real deal. This guy Heel is awesome. But yeah, the Yankees scare me a lot now. And that's really they're going to be a formidable. And I think Garrett Cole's come back next week or maybe 2 weeks from now. So that's terrifying.
Yeah, I mean the Phillies look like they're having the most fun in baseball right now. They look like the Orioles, like in terms of how close that clubhouse is, which is scary. They just look unstoppable right now. Them and the Yankees both. So
yeah,
they're so good. 45 and 20 on the year.
You know, I almost feel bad for the Kansas City Royals, who are actually doing very well this year.
I know, right?
But it is such a top-heavy league right now in the AL that like everyone's focusing on the Yankees, the Orioles, even the Guardians, and no one's paying attention to the Royals.
Dude, the Royals are really good, but that freaking AL Central, we talked about it a couple times this year, is incredible. There's 4 teams that are 500 or higher. Sorry, Detroit's 32 and 33, but they're 1 game below 500. Minnesota's 4 games above 500. Cleveland was the hottest team in the league for last couple of weeks. Yeah, I mean it's a top-heavy American league this year, and the West, which we thought was going to be incredibly competitive, has been pretty bad. Texas and Houston are both below 500. Yeah. Obviously, the Angels and Oakland stink, and the Mariners are 5.5 games in the lead of that division, and they're not even playing great baseball so far. So yeah, it's been a really bizarre season on that front.
Yeah.
We're gonna move on from baseball. We've talked about 40 minutes on baseball, so I think we can move on. We're gonna touch on football, and then we're gonna get into golf. I want to note. Go ahead, Bri.
Can we do our That's a Shame segment now? Let's get it out of the way.
Sure.
My That's a Shame for this week, or That's a Shame segment is baseball oriented. That's why before we get off the baseball topic, I want to. I watched a lot of the college baseball super regionals, which are fantastic, by the way. Let's get some better umpire communication with both the fan base, with the crowd that's actually there in person. Watching that Florida-Clemson game, which was a phenomenal baseball game. There's ejections of players, ejections of coaches. One coach is doing like punching motions while he's coming off, screaming at the crowd. That's fantastic. It gets me excited. Let's be better, NCAA. All right, with the super regionals. Let's get these umpires some microphones. They're like waving to like some Jabberwocky who's upstairs. Some SID who's up there. Johnny Lipper. Like that guy out, and like it's all you got. You don't have any kind of vocals whatsoever. Get the guys a microphone. Get these guys a little thing on their hip. Let's go.
Yeah. Not even that. I mean, these freaking umpires in the regionals, in the super regionals, they're making these games about themselves instead of these college athletes. They're kind of pissing me off with some of the stuff, and some of these ejections the penalty that comes with that is way, way too much. Like if somebody's getting thrown out in the championship game of a super regional, and I forget what like the suspension is, like they're
2
out.
games.
Yeah,
They're getting 2 games.
that's the most emotional part of, and I don't know if you saw it. Then the umpires came together after that kid hit the go ahead home run for Clemson.
Yeah,
And
he
spikes his bat.
slams the bat, looks at his own dugout. He's yelling in his own dugout. They thought about throwing him out. He was
the biggest
excited
home run of
because
his
he hit a
life.
fucking home run.
The biggest home run of his life.
Yeah, and you're gonna eject
We're
him?
trying to grow the game. And
Let's
we're
assume
going to penalize kids for being
celebrating
excited
with their
about doing something.
team.
Yeah.
He wasn't even taunting the other team. He wasn't taunting the other team. He slams his bat. He looks in his own dugout. He's like flexing like Anthony Santana. Are we going to suspend Anthony Santana for 2 fucking games, you asshats? Just let the kids celebrate. He runs around, and then they eject 2 coaches.
Yeah,
What was your problem?
I love that the coaches came out and started arguing before they even threw the kid out. Well, who knows if they maybe they weren't going to throw him out, but they came out and started arguing to stick up for their player. Like, why are we even fucking doing this? And then got into it with them. But like, and then they go on to lose the game. Like, if they go into the College World Series and have a 2-game suspension, like that is the biggest like that game was the biggest emotional roller coaster of the year, maybe of their careers. And then they're gonna have to sit out 2 games of the College World Series because they got thrown out. Like this, it's ridiculous, man.
It's ridiculous. Yeah. Go fuck yourself. Enjoy the game. Let the game grow. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. And Dusty, I, before we get off the That's a Shame segment, I just want to throw this out there. I watched the Oregon. This is my, I got 2 That's a Shames. Oregon versus Mississippi State, or not Mississippi State, Texas A&M. Oregon walked in 5 runners. My hot dog's riding up me. Sorry. Oregon walked in 5 runners in the 7th inning and then gave up a grand slam. They gave up 9 runs. And watching that fan base, I've never seen a crowd win a baseball game. Texas A&M's crowd won a baseball game. They have bubble guns. All the kids and adults have bubble guns. The kids have these large maracas that are the size of this outfit I'm wearing right now, shaking them. It's unfucking believable to watch something like that. And when they throw ball 4, then they go ball 5, ball 6, ball 7, and the whole crowd's doing like the tomahawk chop, but they're chanting at the same time. It's unbelievable to watch.
They've done
good
that.
Good for college baseball. Screw you, umpires in the NCAA Super Regionals. You did a terrible job.
They've done that ball call since like I was in college. From like I remember seeing that on YouTube when I was in college, thinking that was the coolest thing. Yeah, that the SEC baseball like is on another level.
At one point, the Oregon pitcher had a bubble on his cheek and just sat there while he was getting rid of it.
Yeah, well, I guess that's not SEC.
I remember some point in the mid 2010s, the Reds and the Pirates were playing in a playoff game, and Johnny Cueto could not throw a strike, and the Pittsburgh fans were just screaming Cueto, Cueto. He threw like 6 straight balls, and then Russell Martin hit the most electric home run I've ever seen. It was amazing. If you haven't seen that video, you should go watch it. But yeah, that's amazing when the crowd takes over like that. It's so much fun to watch.
Anyway, that was my rant for the day. I'm out.
Yeah. Moving on to football, Mike Tomlin gets a 3-year extension. As Brooks puts himself up on the screen, it looks like we have a guest joining us here.
Look who we got here.
We have a guest appearance. Whoa.
Our resident Tottenham Hotspur fan.
Welcome
the
to
audio
the
on mine
show.
is poor. I can barely hear you guys. How's it going?
Hey, buddy.
Well, you gotta turn the volume up.
The Android phones they get you, man.
Oh my god, dude! Come on, somebody. Can we all donate to the Chris Merrick Fund to get him an iPhone?
Well, you have to have a second kid. We gotta. Money's tight.
We just finished ranting about the referees in college baseball. We're actually gonna start talking about
the
football. Mike
referees in college baseball.
Sorry, the
What is-
umpires in I'm looking at the football
Umpires.
segment on our notes, and I'm talking about baseball. It's
You guys are supposed to be experts here. Come on.
I don't know if we're an
Are we
I'm
supposed
wearing
to?
a hot dog, Chris.
I noticed.
Have you seen my
You
wiener?
look like Mr. Camden Yards. You're like Mr. Splash in the hot dog races combined.
All right, now let's throw it out to the 4 viewers that are watching and to you guys. Do I wear this to the game tonight?
Hell yeah, dude.
Absolutely.
Here we go. It's done.
Mike Tomlin, 3-year extension with the Steelers. After a lot of Pittsburgh fans have been kind of calling for his head the last couple of years. Merrick, you just got on. What do you think about this Mike Tomlin extension?
It's the team from up north. We always hate him, but it's hard to deny what he's accomplished up there the last, 16, 17 years.
Yeah.
The guy's been the pinnacle of success, albeit the last 6, 7 years, not as much as they're used to, but the track record, the ability to not have a losing record in that time, you got to take your hat off to him in that regards. Again, they've been mediocre the last 3, 4, 5. So let's another 3 more years for me is perfect for the AFC North for me and the Ravens.
The ultimate respect. That's all I got. I mean, I respect him. I love the way he addresses the media. I love the way he addresses his team. He should actually win a Pulitzer Prize. Not a Pulitzer Prize. He should win like the Medal of Freedom for how he handled the Antonio Brown situation when we didn't know that Antonio Brown was an absolute douche slice.
Well,
So
and
I respect him.
and Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, just being able to juggle those guys and keep them in a like-minded headspace for that long was a ridiculous coaching job. I have nothing but respect for him. I think this is great news for Steelers fans. I know if you're a Steelers fan and you don't like Mike Tomlin, I mean, look at the other options.
Yeah.
I don't.
Well,
You're gonna get Wade Phillips.
What you're doing?
Well,
yeah.
I mean, if I were, I mean, I'd love to have Vrabel if I were them, but I mean, I'm all on board with Tomlin as well. Especially, I mean, I know everyone's gonna point at him not winning a playoff game here for a little while now, but I especially with the quarterback situation there, you kind of got to keep some semblance of the same. That's why they've been so successful for so long, is that they've kept coaches around. So I mean,
that's what the Ravens have modeled their back office out of, stability. However, how many other franchises have the same GM, the same head coach, the same ownership? I think it's a major point in success among the league.
Yeah,
I think that's why the Ravens and Steelers fans and organizations actually respect each other so much, because we're so similar. And I mean, I would say that we probably copied them, obviously, because we came into the league after them. But what other franchise would you want to copy, really? So
I'd agree with you. I would agree with you on that. I think I read that if Tomlin follows his contract out, it'll be his 21st year, which will put him 2 behind Chuck Noll, who was there for 23.
Yeah.
I mean, how many coaches have we had, right? I mean, we've had 3?
I think so.
March Brodo, Billick, and Harbaugh. And it's a model organization. Stability is a very important thing. I mean, there's a reason why we didn't let Eric DeCosta go. I think he was getting, swooned by like the Seahawks or somebody a decade ago. But
I'm surprised he stuck around the whole time.
Yeah. Well, apparently at one point, from what I've been told, through a buddy named Kevin, who worked with the Ravens.
Name your source. Come on.
Now, Ozzie started fucking deferring to DeCosta, saying, "Okay, here we go. Like, you start making some picks." Ozzie was like, slowly allowing Eric or EDC to phase himself out.
Yeah, there had to be some kind of behind the scenes change of power just to entice him to stay. Money always helps as well, but yeah, you got to get that kind of guy some control. Otherwise, why not get the hell out of here?
Steve Bisciotti always tells a story about the only time he knew never when he found out never to question Ozzie Newsome ever again. Bisciotti really wanted Lito Shepherd, and Ozzie Newsome goes, no.
That's a name from the past.
Yeah, he really wanted Lito Shepherd for whatever reason. I don't know if they went to the same school. It doesn't matter. And Ozzie Newsome goes, no, we hope this guy falls to us at this position. That person's name was Ed Reed. And Steve Bisciotti goes, I'll never question Ozzie Newsome ever again.
Oh, it
Hey,
wasn't
man,
all this. It wasn't all the success that he had before that. Not to question him.
Well, and also Lito Shepherd wasn't a
good
bad player.
by
Lito
the
Shepherd
way.
played for like 10, 12,
Yeah.
14
Oh,
years,
no,
whatever the hell
yeah.
it was. But Ed Reed's one of the best 100 players of all time.
Yeah, I mean,
Arguably,
oh man, if we would have taken Lito Shepherd, then the freaking Eagles would have had Ed Reed and Brian Dawkins. God.
holy shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, a couple other things I had on the rundown for football. McCaffrey's going to be on Madden. I don't know if the Madden curse is still a thing, but putting a guy who's injury prone on the cover of Madden just screams bad vibes to me. So I'm going to make that my That's a Shame week for 49ers fans. I really hope McCaffrey can stay healthy, but I'm terrified of the Madden curse. I've seen it take out so many players. And also, Mercedes Lewis is still going to play football this year. Just signed a deal with the Bears. He will be coming back for his 19th season. He turned 40 in May. He is a 40-year-old man playing tight end in the NFL. Absolutely outrageous.
He still plays special teams. Think about that. He runs down the fucking field and hits people.
Well, we'll see. We'll see if he's going to do that this year with the new rules, because it seems like it's going to be tailored towards fast people. But yeah. I mean, apparently, like, I don't pay that much attention to Mercedes Lewis, but apparently he's still one of those guys that just lines up and can block an edge rusher by himself at 39 years old last year, and you don't have to worry about it. So, I mean, what more could you want? I mean, and the guy's still going to be a threat in the red zone because he's 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
So.
All right, yeah, we're gonna move on to golf.
Well, officially, I guess we should say officially. Last week we talked about it. Officially, Darren Waller retired.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Came out and said.
Yeah, kudos to him for turning his career around. Wish him nothing but the best. I don't know if he's going to be going coaching route. I don't know if he's going to take a couple yeyears off.
Anybody see his interview when he announced it?
I did.
No,
I did. I did one phenomenal shorts. Really was showing the inner thigh. Great interview. But that being said, what I want to commend Darren Waller on is one, turning his life around. Second, obviously he's going through a divorce, which is difficult. Not that I've been through one, but I've been around people that have. And then he talked about during his interview that he had a life-threatening injury. And he didn't really disclose what the injury was, but he's unable to take medicine or painkillers because of his addiction problems. So a lot of it was holistic, and he struggled. He said he couldn't pee, or he couldn't use the restroom by himself. He couldn't eat. So kudos to him for at least identifying a problem. What's the first step in solving a problem is identifying there is one. So kudos to him, and I'm happy that he's getting out while he can, while he still has his health. He's 31, 32. I mean, and realistically, we were talking about Mercedes Lewis being 40 and still playing in the NFL. This guy probably is in the prime of his career.
Yeah. He said in that interview, something happened where like he couldn't talk or like was having trouble breathing and called 911, couldn't talk, or like he thought he was saying something, but they couldn't understand him. So then he realized they couldn't understand him. So he had to like gather himself and somehow got it out there, went to it sounded like he was having a panic attack.
Yeah.
But then spent 3 days in the hospital and could barely walk, which obviously is not a panic attack. So I was like, but he never actually said what it was, what happened there.
Yeah.
So, and I guess that gave him some kind of clarity. He said it was similar to when he overdosed. It felt like somebody had pulled the plug on him and he just had this, like, I don't know, for lack of a better word, revelation about there's more to life than just football.
He even, and I'm going to paraphrase what he said, but they called his mother, and his mother apparently said something to the sorts of, "Oh no, he went back, or not again. He did this again," and he had not. It was just something happened. Yeah, and that's got to be so fucking scary. I hope it never happens to any of us. But holy shit! But anyway, yeah, it was a great interview. And one inner thigh, great tattoos, strong shorts.
Strong.
Brian is in a mood today. The hot dog outfit's got him all kinds of horny. I think.
I'm pissed off today, so don't worry about that.
Yeah, we're gonna quickly go over
why are you
the
wearing
Memorial
soccer
tournament.
over there? What are you doing with soccer on? Are they playing?
Yeah, what's going on here, Chris? Why you got Tottenham on, dude?
Are they doing the soccer right now?
So the Euros are going on right now, but the simplest and the most correct answer is I'm rebuilding a wardrobe in our bedroom, so it's literally the first shirts on top of the duffel bag that was available today.
So it's like,
There you
fuck
go.
it. We'll if the soccer shirt gets fucked up, who cares, right?
All right, go ahead.
Oh,
Do your
man.
golf, Dusty. Let's go. Let's fire away. Man.
Yeah, did you guys watch the Memorial at all? Did you watch Sunday? Did you watch any of the tournament? Did you have any thoughts before I go into these crazy Scheffler numbers? Obviously, Scheffler won again. Let's start with Merrick. You haven't talked at all.
So didn't get a chance to watch as much as I'd like to. I mean, I currently have Golf Channel on watching the Pinehurst. A little disappointed and excited that I'm not down there because that means my daughter's coming in 2 weeks in person. But following it on the phone, Scotty is just Scotty. It's kind of crazy to watch. I mean, I remember growing up when Tiger was doing his thing and just being blown away, and it's giving me echoes of that. I mean, they're different players and people. It's LeBron and Michael conversation, I feel like, but he's playing out of his goddamn mind right now. I don't know how you bet with him in the field. You got to do without Scotty as far as your odds to have any kind of sort of making some money now.
Do we think this is good for the sport or bad for the sport with his dominance?
Good.
I
think it's good. It draws attention to it, just like Tiger did. I mean, different reasons back then, but when someone's this good, you're almost looking for him to fail or to keep it rolling. There's two sides of the camp.
Tiger had a draw because, and I hate to say this because how much I hate politics and race. The race factor brought a lot in. His upbringing being on TV prior to that. Scotty Scheffler doesn't move a needle.
Tiger is just one of the most charismatic athletes of all time. So that obviously happened. That helps a lot. Scheffler is more of like an even keel Joe Flacco kind of demeanor on the golf course. It seems like. So it's just a little bit different. But the fact of the matter is, if the same guy is winning, it's going to draw more people in. People interested in one guy. So I think it's definitely good for the sport, and it also makes the other guys. It forces the other guys to try to get better. How do we beat Tiger? How do we beat Scotty Scheffler? What can I do? What is he doing that I'm not doing? So yeah, I think it's all around. It's good for the game. Yeah, it might be more fun to watch if some other guys had a chance every now and then. But it's incredible to watch this guy just completely dominate every freaking golf course he goes to. What's
the one thing you remember about Scotty Scheffler right now?
Him getting arrested in the middle of a major championship.
And that's what I'm getting at. Is that good for golf? You're remembering him getting arrested.
He's in his third full season on the PGA Tour, and he's won 15 tournaments. I mean, he's still a very relatively young career. He's maybe 26, 27 years old. He's got so much time in front of him. And if he keeps playing like this, he's going to win a million majors. So,
where's the interference coming from on this? Might be Merrick's. I think it's Chris's.
I can't hear you.
I turned the volume up.
You're out of here.
Yeah, he's out.
Oh man, he got kicked out. He
got booted out, man.
All right, we'll try to figure out Merrick's situation and get him back on either today or in the future. Just a little quick rundown of the numbers just so far this season. Obviously, it is only June. We're about halfway through like the major golf season. Scotty Scheffler is the first player since 2016, 2017 to win 5 times in a season. He's done that in half the season. Justin Thomas was the last player to do that. He's the first player since 1980 to win a major and win 5 tournaments before the U.S. Open. That was Tom Watson. He was the last person to do that. He is the first player to win 5 times in an 8-start span since 2007 when Tiger did it. He's got 11 straight top 10 finishes on tour. The longest streak since Tiger Woods in 2007 was also 11 that year. And then he's won over $24 million in prize money this season, which is passing his own record from last season where he won $21 million. Once again, he's got the opportunity to win the FedEx Cup still, which is a $15 million paycheck. He's got several tournaments in between now and then. I mean, he could literally double up the record for most money in a season this season if he keeps playing the way he is. So it's just outrageous to watch. Other notable guys this week, Colin Morikawa finishes at solo second. Colin Morikawa's had an unbelievably good season, especially in the last month. It seems like he's been in the top 5 of every tournament. I think he would be a good player to look out for this week. This course is really long, and really long courses means you are going to hit long irons into greens a lot. And the best 2 ball strikers with their long irons in the world are Colin Morikawa and Scotty Scheffler. So I think he kind of sets up well for this golf course. A bunch of other guys collect top 10s: Matsuyama, Aberg, Schauffele, Finau, Straka. Schauffele, good to see him still competing in golf tournaments after he finally got over the hump in the PGA. I could have seen a little bit of a regression from him coming, but it seems like his game is still pretty sharp. Hovland looked like he was going to be in contention to win this thing in the middle of Saturday, and then just had an absolute meltdown. He went from -8 to +3 over the course of 27 holes.
What?
So that was ugly to watch. Yeah, really struggled over the weekend. Looked like he was back at the PGA, had found something in his swing, and was killing it at the Memorial. He was defending champion, and then completely collapsed over the weekend. But he still finished top 15. So I mean, the course ate a lot of people alive. Rory also got a top 15. Fleetwood top 20. Homa top T22. Spieth missed the cut. Wyndham Clark has now missed 2 cuts in a row. Patrick Cantlay missed the cut, and this is a course that Patrick Cantlay has historically dominated. Patrick Cantlay's game is in all kinds of terrible places. Do not bet on him. He's a top 20 warrior, but he is no man's land when it comes to golf right now.
Really?
So that's
Didn't
a guy.
Where my hat to keep.
Didn't he start the year hot?
He always just so consistent. So maybe at the beginning of the year he had a couple top 20s or something. I don't think he won any tournaments this year, but I mean, at least since the Masters, he's been bad, really bad.
I love on the rundown. I love on the rundown. You can also throw your money straight into a garbage can if you bet on Cantlay or DJ.
Yeah.
Okay.
On the U.S. Open preview, I have the players put into tiers, and some of the tiers are consistent contenders. Scotty Scheffler's in a tier of his own. There's some talented guys, and then the last one is you could also just throw your money straight into the garbage.
I got a golf pro joining us here in a couple minutes to talk U.S. Open too, just to give you a heads up.
Awesome. Before Will joins us, I do want to say,
not Will, somebody else.
Oh, okay. Sean Foy. I want to throw my money. If I was going to bet anything, I would throw it on Keegan Bradley. For some reason, I was pretty hot on that one a couple weeks ago. I love Keegan Bradley this week. I don't have a reasoning. It's just a gut feeling. I'm wearing a hot dog. I'm wearing a hot dog hat. You take nothing that I say for granted, but Keegan Bradley, man, that's where I'm
I
going.
mean, to be honest with you, your
Brooks.
gut has been pretty freaking good this year, like with a couple things.
Yeah.
Dude, and this is one
Not
I
gets out
actually love. This is one I actually love. The last time they played the U.S. Open at Pinehurst, the winning score was -9, but Martin Keimer was -9 by himself. Only 2 other players finished under par for the tournament. It was Ricky Fowler and some other guy who's no longer playing professional, at least competitive golf. But Keegan Bradley came in 4th in that tournament. So
Okay.
this is a guy who's played well at this tournament. He's won major championships in the past, and he collected a top 10 last week. So Keegan Bradley is definitely in form, and he's in form, and he's going into a course where he's had previous success. These are the 2 things you look at: the most consistent way to gamble on golf in a profitable way. So obviously 75-1 to win is a long shot, but if you want to bet him to top 20, top 30, this is the kind of course he can do that for sure.
Okay.
Brooks, do you have any thoughts, any names that jump out at you? Anybody you want to talk about?
Yeah, Scotty Scheffler.
In particular?
Does Pinehurst have the best logo out of all the courses?
Ooh.
I love their.
I love Augusta.
Well, obviously
Pinehurst is great, though.
That's iconic. I love the little caddy guy with the floppy hat. I love that.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, and if you've never been to Pinehurst, go down there and check it out. There's like 10 courses. There's a par 3 course. It's a whole complex. I think it's its own city. I think it's called Pinehurst, North Carolina.
Yeah, it actually, and one of the cool things about Pinehurst is they do a camping night or a camping weekend where you can actually go down. You can. I'm not shitting you. You can pitch a tent and you can sleep on like Pinehurst number 4, and you get to play every course on Pinehurst except number 2. So you get to play number 5 and number 8 and number 6, all that stuff. It's kind of it's a unique thing. I had a couple buddies named Andrew and Marianne. They did it every year. They did it for their honeymoon actually, and it was that's pretty nifty.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about that, but that's really awesome. It's a super cool location. Obviously, like Brooks just said, it's got a awesome logo. What's up, dude?
What's going on?
What up, John?
What's up, dude?
Doing well?
Good, man. How are you?
Teach us, learn us something about golf here. Talking about U.S. Open and why Scotty Scheffler is going to win again.
Hold on. Watching some high school golf right now at state finals.
That's awesome.
So I mean, Scotty's on an absolute tear, of course. I mean, if he can keep it in the fairway out there, so like, I mean, obviously everybody knows Scotty Scheffler's number 1 player in the world right now, but like, even they're talking about birdies made, score relative to par, and all the majors in the last like fucking 2 years. I mean, it's pretty wild in terms of kind of where he lies, and even in terms of they talk about Tiger in the best years possible, 07, 08, and he's kind of on that tear right now. So I think I don't know if you guys have talked already about kind of the odds to win this right now. He's at 3-1, which is why it's even more wild. His Masters is 4.5 to 1. So I mean, 3-1, which is wild right now. And the next closest is Rory at like 30-something to 1.
Justin, if you had a long shot, who would you take?
What was that?
If you had a long shot, who would you take?
I missed what you said. Sorry.
If you had a
long shot,
yeah,
long shot bet, who would you like?
I mean, long shot. I want JT to win.
Okay.
There you go.
I think if he can put it together, I mean, I think he can too. This is his style, of course. I mean, he's going to play. It's going to be tough conditions. Everybody's talking about not even the conditions part, but as much as how firm the greens are. I mean, guys are wanting this to be a winner at -230. You know, this audience right now isn't wanting this -19 under at the PGA Champ to win at Valhalla, which is a gettable golf course. And that's where I think guys that have kind of that grit in them a little bit more, like I think JT's got it in him, where I think he's going to be like my sleeper a little bit of being able to go out there, battle and find his way, scrambling around the golf course is going to be where I think he can kind of creep into that.
What's the weather supposed to be? Does anyone have that update, or is that even out there yet? I don't even
Hot.
know.
Just hot, just like
80,
here.
85
Yeah,
and sunny.
Okay.
yeah. I was gonna say just like here in
85 and sunny.
Indiana.
So
It's gonna
firm
be really
greens.
hot.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
very fast, very firm, very unforgiving when you get into the penalty areas.
Yeah.
And basically, if you go long at these greens, which a lot of players are going to do, you got to hit some really crazy short game shots to get back on.
Gotcha.
To keep yourself in contention to make pars, because the greens can get away from you quick.
Yeah, they
Gotcha.
talk about these greens sometimes being like the size of like pin needles, and relative to how big this course is. I mean, some of these greens you can't have a 40-foot putt on it. You actually be off the green if you're like 40 feet from the flag. Just even like the circumference of it, like that's how small they are.
Yeah,
I got you. And then we want to give a shout out to here Bowman Golf Lab. What is Bowman Golf Lab here?
That's just my own business where the Golf Nest is an indoor facility. I kind of created my own LLC though. It was Bowman Golf Lab, just kind of my own. What I do, teach, get practice plans for just improving golf.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah,
Awesome.
if you've seen me
Nice.
in the golf place or when I was in the cave the one day,
Oh yeah.
that's where I was at. I was back in the other room. But what are your thoughts?
Sweet.
So Justin, we were talking about maybe Keegan Bradley since he's been playing good lately, being maybe a long shot. How do you think his game matches up with this course?
There's not going to be a lot of guys. Keegan's such a good, I'd call him a scoring kind of club player where it's those mid to upper wedges, the low irons, where Keegan Bradley, if you look at his stats too, it's pretty wild to see how much he compares himself to even the top players in America, even though I don't know what his, world ranking is right now, nor do I really care, but Keegan, I think, is great because he can putt lights out. And on this course, there's not going to be a lot of fairways hit. So it's going to be a lot of scrambling because the fairways are like 15 to 20 yards wide. So for him and those other guys, they're going to be laying up a lot to wedge numbers that they like. And I kind of like his odds a little bit more than some other guys in that area. So I really like that pick. He's a great putter as well.
Okay.
Do you think you think you should look more for guys who are like long iron ball strikers, like guys who are going to be good from 175 plus, or do you think it's that scrambling number, like the ability to get up and down from such weird spots? Do you think that's more important on this course?
I think it's going to be more important on this course. Just even you look at the top drivers right now in terms of consistency in fairways, even those guys, the guys like Wyndham Clark, Xander Schauffele, who obviously is, top player in the world. Their long iron play is fantastic. I just don't see a lot of those shots coming, let's just say, needed out on this course because you're always going to have an unconventional lie. Fairway, fantastic. Yeah, go for it. But there's not going to be many times where these guys are going to be in the fairway unless they're taking less than driver off the tee on most of these holes, even though it's playing so freaking long and dry.
It's going to be interesting to watch. I think I like those I like the little nuggets you gave us there. What do you think about Mark Hubbard at 400 to 1? Do you think he's got a chance?
I mean, man, anybody can play some golf, all right.
Yeah, I have a lot of notes down and long shots worth mentioning. I think Mark Hubbard's a better golfer than 400 to 1. He's made 16 out of 16 cuts.
Yeah, I mean, even if you look at his round, I think last week he was in the top 10.
Yeah. And he actually was in the top couple of groups. He played with Scotty Scheffler on Saturday and Sunday at the PGA Championship. So it's not like he wasn't able to compete in majors.
I would completely agree with that.
A better player. Something I want to talk about that we haven't talked about yet is John Rahm withdrew from the Live Golf event this week with a foot injury. Apparently, he's got some sort of foot infection that he actually said is a concern. He's being cautious with it. He's one of the best golfers in the world. He's having a down season, obviously, with a lot of weird stuff around him since the Live move. Have you been able to watch any of him? Do you have any thoughts on him?
No, I haven't really. If I'm being honest, I don't really keep up with Live that much other than kind of what we see online. So, the biggest thing I think is, obviously he's got, he was born with that club foot. I think it's the same foot as his club foot, which is his right leg and his right ankle.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming it's coming from something with that, but I don't know. I mean, it seemed pretty painful in that video that I saw of him on that par 3 whenever he kind of stepped off of it after he struck it. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Pinehurst is an easy walk. So we're talking, again, guys about, maybe injuries to the lower body and Tiger and stuff like that. But, like, Pinehurst is a pretty easy walk.
Justin, does this mean you do not subscribe to the CW news channel? I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, are you kidding?
Maybe.
I mean, who doesn't have CW to watch the fucking live tour where they're wearing shorts and listening to music and drinking beers and having a good time?
Hey, I got a hat now at least. Brooks got me a hat.
I mean, everyone's got the CW. We just don't know where the hell to find it.
Yeah,
I'll let you get back to it unless Dustin's got another question for you.
Scotty Scheffler is probably going to win, but I like Morikawa. I like DeChambeau. He's been playing great in the majors this year. I like Matsuyama just because he's a guy who can get so hot and he's crafty around the greens. But I think if you put your money on Patrick Cantlay or Dustin Johnson, you might as well just set it on fire because I think you'd have a better chance of earning money that way. All right,
I like Thompson. I like Thompson a lot. I like Keegan Bradley. I like Obear. I like Ludwig. I think he's not necessarily a sleeper anymore, but people seem to still forget about him for how young he is. But I think, man, he's a machine. When you talk about robots and machines and perfect golf swings and just playing perfect golf, he's in that category where I really like him.
I love Adrian. I love him. I mean, just in general, the sweat soy sauce. So fuck yeah, dude. I'm with you.
I don't know what you're on today, dude.
All right,
Justin.
I think.
Justin, thank you.
All right, Justin. Thanks, man. Thanks for joining us. That was Brooks' buddy Justin. He's
cool. So, Brooks, what's his? Is it like an indoor golf simulator company, or what is?
Basically,
what is that?
Yeah. Basically, it's like a group of four, basically teaching pros.
Okay.
They all kind of started it together, and they obviously do all their lessons and stuff over there. And I've always gone to Justin. And yeah, they've got TrackMan. They've got 4 or 5 different simulators.
Okay.
They also got 2 putt views in there, which is like this new high quality putt thing where it actually like moves the green. It'll show you the lines on the green where you need to putt. And
is that the one where you showed me maybe a video or a picture where they have like a sand section on the platform? Maybe I'm making this up. It might be somebody else, but there was like a simulator company that had like if you hit it into the sand on the simulator, you would take the ball and you move it over into the sand section. Like it's a little, it's the size of this. And you had to hit out of the sand. If you didn't hit out of the sand, you got a 1-stroke penalty via the computer.
Gotcha. No, this is putt view is literally just for putting.
That's pretty cool.
But I'll show you.
Okay.
I'll share my screen and show a picture of it real quick. But
that's cool.
Really,
yeah.
Really freaking cool.
Just while he's looking for that, a couple other guys I want to mention here.
Yeah.
Sepp Straka has been playing very good golf. I'd like him for a top 20 this week. Fleetwood, don't bet on him to win. He never wins, but he always performs well in the U.S. Open. He's good on difficult golf courses, long golf courses. So he's a guy you could pick for a top 20 this week as well. And then, I think that's pretty much all I got. Wyndham Clark has missed 2 straight cuts, so maybe kind of stay away from him. Although he is the defending U.S. Open champion, he's not really in his best form right now, so it might not be the best idea to be looking at him to go back to back.
Okay. There we go.
Just pulling something up here.
Yeah, so it's like, and it'll change. Like you can change the different. Let's see if I can get a. So I mean, you can. It'll move.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
it'll
So
actually
is
like,
that line's visual, like when you're standing on the green there?
So yeah. So there's basically like a thing above that shoots obviously shoots
Okay.
the line down, and like this line is the one, like the line you want to putt on, like your start line, and then this is all determined on how fast you actually hit it and everything like that. But
Oh.
it's really cool. They've
That
got
is really cool.
They've got 2 of them in there.
That's sweet.
All right. Well, anyway, we have gone pretty long today, and we still have a snake trap to do. So I think we should
All right,
probably
let's go ahead and
get
do
into
it.
that.
Right,
go ahead and do it.
My
didn't have
official
anything planned.
pick. I don't have anything planned. I'm not worried about it. But for the sake of the viewers, we can put a little bow on this one. My official pick this week is going to be Kyle Morikawa. I think he's going to win this golf tournament. I think Brian's got Tom Kim and Keegan Bradley.
Yeah, if I can take 2, I'm taking 2
some
long
sort of-
shots. So I'll take 2 long shots.
Yeah, maybe they'll form some sort of mega person.
Our powers combined.
Give me who I'm trying to go off of Justin's advice from being able to escape stuff, but I don't want to go with Spieth because you never know what the hell you're going to get with him.
DeChambeau sounds good. He said it's a long course.
Well, he said you're gonna, like, literally his whole knock has always been his short game, right? Like everything from 125, 150 in.
Yeah.
But he's been playing great in terms of that this year. But that's always
he's been
the work
very
rate.
good short game wise in the 2 major championships this year.
But that's always something you got to think about with him, right? Is it going to go back to what it, I'll go with Justin Thomas. I'll take his. I'll follow his lead there.
I'd love to see JT win.
I'd love to, too.
I root for that guy every time he plays, but I probably won't have money on him this week just because.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just have a lot of other guys that I like, particularly for this course, a little bit better. But
cool.
I wouldn't be surprised at all if he performed well. So our snake trap today is going to be the best uniforms in the 4 major sports. We do not have college sports available here. The order based on last week's poll is going to be Brooks and then me and then Brian. We're going to do the snake draft style. So Brooks gets the first overall pick. What is the best uniform in the 4 major sports, Brooks?
Man, I don't know if I want to go first in this one.
Well, I don't like our viewers. I want to tell all our viewers to fuck off because I should have won 2 of these 3 drafts. So you guys can always go screw yourselves. And I hope I come in last. I feel like Teddy Roosevelt in the president's race at National Stadium. So thank you guys. You all suck.
You suck again. My number 1 overall pick. Let me pull it up. Should I share these on the screen as we pick?
No. Just make a selection. Stop being a woman. Just make a selection.
Shut up.
Sound like
You're just mad because you can't even get out of 3rd place every time we do this.
He's mad because there's no relish on
draft.
I don't think you got one vote last week.
I think I might have voted for myself.
I'm going the 98-99 Toronto Raptors with the Raptor on the jersey.
Wow.
Vince
I
Carter
didn't even have
Raptors.
it down.
Wow.
I'm just gonna write Vince Carter Raptors because I don't want to type in all the years. That's awesome.
Well done.
That's a great jersey. I didn't even consider it. I completely forgot it existed.
Yeah.
But that's awesome. I'm going
think
Chargers
I've got
powder
more-
blue. I think it's the best.
Yeah.
I think it's the best jersey in all 4 major sports. So I'm going with the Chargers powder blue.
see,
But
yeah,
Vince
you
Carter
took
Raptors
mine.
jersey.
Yeah, you took my number 1 with the baby blue Charger uniform. I will go Chicago Blackhawks. I think it is one of the best logos. And it pays homage to Blackhawk tribe. And I will also go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers creamsicle uniform.
I had that on my list. That's a
Me
great
too.
one.
It's on my list as well. I feel like I had more NBA and NHL than anything else.
Okay, so I'm gonna be
Anyone drafts
Homer, and I'm
anyone
gonna
drafts
take
Washington Wizards.
the Orioles.
If someone drafts the Washington Wizards,
I'm not going to.
I'm off this podcast for a month. Okay, just throwing it out.
I'm gonna go with the old school orange Orioles jerseys, the Brooks Robinson, Jim Palmer era orange jerseys. I think they're awesome, and I love them. So I'm gonna go with those Orioles throwback orange jerseys, which means Brooks gets a little wraparound here.
Yeah. What are you going? 1976. St. Louis Spirits, ABA.
I've got 12 options, and I actually ranked them this time, so it's easy. I don't have to think this time. I'm just gonna.
This is why we're friends. I have 12 as well. So.
I've got a bunch just in case you guys started rattling off all of them.
Yeah, that's what I did the same.
Give me the.
Oh, and Dustin, don't let me forget. I have a shout out before we shut down for a friend.
Gotcha.
So birthday shout out.
Give me the powder blue Expos.
Ooh,
Oh, dude,
tasty.
I looked at a picture of those earlier. The white helmet with those powder blue jerseys is God. I love that. You do get another pick, Brooks.
Oh shit! Yeah, you're right. Do I keep mixing it up? I think I will because I think my other one is not going to get picked. Give me the.
It's like you shopping at a Lululemon. This takes forever.
Give me the Houston Oilers.
Right.
Oh wow, okay. I actually had those on mine as well, but they were my number 10, I think. So yeah. Yeah, I like those. The powder blue with the white helmet with the
oil rig.
I don't know what that is, but
yeah,
some sort of factory thing. Yeah, oil rig. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna go right down the line. My top 3 are all intact. I'm gonna go the Vegas Golden Knights all blacks. I love those uniforms.
Sexy.
I know they're super new, but I think they're awesome. So I'm gonna go with those.
That's a great call. That's a great call. I'm the kind of going off Brooks's thing. I'm going with the St. Louis Cardinals baby blues, powder blues.
Yeah, they were on my list too.
Yeah, and then I'm going to go very traditional with this one. I just love the Dodger whites. You know, I love the blue number on the back with the red number on the front. I just think there's something attractive about that. I can't explain it.
The LA hat, man. I love the LA hat too.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. That was on my list as well. Give me the early 2000s Anaheim Mighty Ducks jerseys. Pick those. I'll show you the one particular that I like, but it's white and green.
Any of the originals are good.
Why are you not Fulton Reed or Carp every year for Halloween?
Yeah,
I have a Conway jersey. I have an Adam Banks jersey. I have several Gordon Bombay jerseys. I have a Minnesota Waves Gordon Bombay jersey.
Several Bombay jerseys. Bring them out. Bring them out.
There's only one.
You gotta bring them all out.
Mr. Ducksworth. Quack, quack, quack.
Freaking Bombay.
Oh, that's when he gets his knee ripped off.
Gordon Bombay, Minnesota Waves jersey. 6 on the back.
Awesome.
I don't know if you can say it, but it's pretty sweet.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah.
I'm gonna wear
Well
this
done.
the rest of the podcast.
Well done, man. That's great.
I've never had a reason to wear this, and I've always wanted to.
Oh man.
Money well spent.
I can feel my blood pressure rise just from you putting that on, which is great. All right, Brooksy, close out your draft. You got 2 picks.
I know. I feel like we could do 10 of these again, but 5 is the right amount.
Yeah.
Give me the Vancouver Grizzlies.
Ooh, Big Country Reeds. Yeah.
Out of left field, the Vancouver Grizzlies. I thought you were going to go with the Canucks. I actually like their jerseys too.
They were on my list, but I'm not going to take them. And then I'd be remiss if I didn't do the old school teal Seattle Mariners.
Yeah, I like those too. Oh man. Okay. I've got it. I got some options here. Let's go the just because of the logo, I'm gonna take these. I like the Robin Yount powder blue Brewers jerseys, the baby blue Brewers jerseys with the glove. I love those jerseys too. I'm gonna go with those.
It's funny you bring that up. It's funny you bring that up, Dusty, because I didn't want to do this specifically logos, because my favorite logo in all sports, I love the Orioles. We love the Orioles. That glove, people don't realize, a lot of people don't realize that it actually has an M and a B with the baseball for Milwaukee Brewers in the logo. It's the best, for me, it's the best logo in sports.
It's amazing.
Because it's like a hidden, it's like one of those highlight books where you had to like find the hidden like picture. It says Milwaukee Brewers in their logo. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's incredibly cleverly designed. I totally agree with you. Brian is going to finish off his draft here.
Yeah, I'm going to go traditional again. And look, there are a lot of good options left. I just love the Toronto Maple Leafs colors. I love the blue and the white. I think it's a beautiful. Yeah. Now look, I also want to qualify. I specifically told people when I was making my list, I am not putting the Yankees pinstripes, gorgeous jersey. I'm not putting the Pittsburgh Steelers on there because of bias.
Yeah.
Those are great jerseys. So I don't want anyone to think that, we fucked anyone over. But I just love the tradition of the Maple Leaf jersey. The blue and the white is gorgeous with that big, sexy Maple Leaf. Canadians jerseys are fantastic. The San Jose Sharks, holy smokes. What a good look.
That was big on my list.
Yeah.
Sure. Love
the Charlotte Hornets. Remember when we all gravitated to teal?
Also on my list as well.
There's like a Charlotte Hornets starter jacket that I remember everyone having. I had if you guys have any honorable mentions you want to throw out, I'll throw mine out real quick. I had the Hank Aaron era Braves with the white jerseys with the blue sleeves. I think those are awesome. I had the Randy Johnson Diamondbacks jerseys. I had the John Elway Broncos orange jerseys with the blue helmets. I love those. And the Astros jersey that everyone either hates or loves, that
the stripes,
white at the top and then has like a gradient of stripes. Yeah, I love that jersey too. I had that on my list, but also the Seattle Supersonics.
Yeah. Sean Kemp, Gary Payton. Yeah. See, you strike me as a guy who would have a Detlef Shrimp jersey, like without a doubt. But
I admire Detlef from afar, but no, I don't have any of his stuff.
I have admired
3 honorable mentions. I have 2 are the same. It's the green. It's the Eagles and the Jets, like that lighter green, not
the Kelly green.
The Kelly green. Those were gorgeous colors with the green and white. I'm a big color guy on this. The Montreal Canadiens is a big one, very traditional, going back to my tradition thing. And then I really enjoyed the New England Patriots where they had the football guy on the helmet, that was down.
Oh, yeah.
Those are one of my favorite NFLs for sure. Yeah. I almost took that over the Oilers one.
The Oilers one is a great call. The oil rig or the oil whatever tower is phenomenal.
You guys knocked off a lot of my stuff. Did you? All right. When I was doing some research on this, the Calgary Flames jersey or their logo from when was it?
I love how Brooks has years.
90 because it had it on the articles that I was reading from 98 to 2006. Look how sick this logo is.
Those are classics.
I don't remember that at all. It's a and then
it looks like a Calvert Hall jersey almost. I'll text it real quick.
Also, The old school Utah Jazz Purple Mountains.
Oh, geez. Greg Ostertag. There we go. There it is. I can see him wearing it.
I had the old school Pistons with the horse. The old school Magic.
If you win this draft, I'm going to stab you. I'm going to physically walk to Indianapolis and stab you.
I also love the Marlins cutoff. The Marlins cutoff with the teal undershirt, and then the caps.
Oh yeah,
the caps
03,
red.
like. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought about taking the New York Rangers. The New York Rangers, It's such a classic look with the Rangers going all the way down the jersey like this. I love that look too.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we'll just run through it real quick again.
Also, Baltimore Bullets. I mean, I thought somebody would take that.
The Bullets one was on my list. Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, as soon as Brian said anything about the Wizards, he would leave. Then I got scared.
Dusty, go ahead and do the rundown real quick, and then I want to give a shout out, and then I want to talk to you guys after we go off live.
Okay. So Brooks's team for the best jerseys in the 4 major sports: Vince Carter Raptors with the Raptor on the front, the Powder Blue Expos, the Houston Oilers, the Vancouver Grizzlies, and the old school throwback teal Seattle Mariners jerseys. Those are sweet. My draft was the Chargers Powder Blue, the Orioles throwback orange jersey, Vegas Golden Knights all black, the Anaheim Mighty Ducks, and the Brewers throwback baby blue, the Robin Yount era Brewers jerseys.
That's a tough draft to beat.
Great pool.
That's a great draft.
And
great
then,
draft by Dustin right there.
Brian's draft was Chicago Blackhawks hockey sweater, the Bucks creamsicle uniforms, the St. Louis Cardinals powder blues throwbacks, the Dodger plain white jerseys, and the Maple Leafs. I don't know if you want the blue or the white, but we'll figure that out.
Yeah.
And we'll make a graphic for this so that we can
a close one,
see
guys.
the jerseys.
I don't know who wins this one, to be honest with you. This is.
I like my guys.
No one likes me, so I'll come in dead last.
I honestly thought Delaware. I thought if I were voting last week, I would have taken Delaware's draft.
Same.
Out of all
yeah. I didn't like my draft last week, but I love this one, so I'm going for retribution. Yeah, I wish I could have just taken Tiger Sunday Red, but he's not a player on any of these teams.
Real quick shout out to a friend of the family, and to our baseball group chat, Mr. Michael Latham, as we like to call him, Cabbage. Happy 40th birthday! You are well respected. You are now a official member now that you've turned 40 of the baseball group chat. So we would like to cheers to you, sir. Congratulations on officially becoming a member, Cabbage. I love you. You're awesome. You have a phenomenal girlfriend named Haley. So and Haley did a great job of organizing Cabbage's 40th birthday this past Saturday, and I'm still recovering from it. So thank you very much, Haley. And Cabbage, happy birthday, buddy.
What'd you guys do for it?
We went to the club, went to St. Gerard's, and she did everything. She got some like meatball sliders and some charcuterie boards and a bunch of stuff and a bunch of good people. About 40, 45 people. Both family, friend oriented. It's great.
How
awesome.
I saw a bunch of the guys went and did the upper deck golf thing. Did anybody talk about how it was?
Yeah, so I've talked to about 3 or 4 people that have done it, and Cabbage happens to be one of them. Coincidentally, they said it was a really fun time. You got to go around the stadium, so they actually had, I think, 9 holes, and maybe we can have someone on that was actually there. They have 9 holes, and you go around from like the flight deck to like where the owners' boxes are to another club. But you basically go around the stadium, and you're just hitting into these large circles. And they had these dudes out there, look like Megatron out there, like siphoning balls, or like some weird. It looked like a lawnmower, but I guess it just picks up golf balls. And they were wearing these like tactical vests. They look ridiculous. They look like Ant-Man out there.
That's
they
awesome.
did that
I saw some
at the
videos
minor
of
league
it.
stadium here last year, I believe. I'm sure they'll bring it back, but something I want to do as well.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, ask Cabbage or ask Travis Webb, couple of the other guys, they did it and they really enjoyed it. I think it was like $100, $150. They had like VIP ones and non-VIP ones and all kinds of stuff.
All right. Well, that's
Alrighty.
been another episode of Gary Williams Stole My Lawn Furniture. We're going to hop on and talk to Brian after this call. But thank you guys for joining us. This is a longer episode than we're used to, but we're going to put some stuff up on our socials. Hopefully you can interact with us a little bit more. Vote in these drafts. It's the more communication, the more interaction we have with our fan base, the better it is for us, the better our show is going to be moving forward. So, yeah, thank you guys very much. You guys have anything else to say before we go off air?
Thank you, guys. Yeah, go off air here. Thank you, guys.
All righty. Cheers.
Hey, boys.